All right, so I know we've done a lot of things the last week or so with some teams, with private clients, with some rehab things. Like what questions or what kind of things have come to mind while we're training that maybe answered or more insight with?
I think the biggest thing that I've had trouble on is like the aspect of form. Is like I've noticed, like especially in like the big groups, like obviously when you have 27 kids, you're not going to get perfect form from every single one. But just being able to decipher like big group which ones to focus on, because like I've noticed some smaller things that doesn't put the athlete at risk, but like could improve it. But it's like 1 out of the 27 individuals are doing it, and I don't know, it's hard to look past sometimes, I guess, but I know like in the grand scheme of things, you want to tackle the biggest recurring form issue.
I think when you're looking at a group setting and training, one of the things that I think that we try to do really well here is break down complex movements into like its simplest components. So when we're looking at form, we have to understand there's going to be variances in each individual. Like some people are taller, some people are shorter, some people have better flexibility, some people have a higher skill set, some are younger, some are older. So when we're training in these groups, that's why we try to break down things like acceleration mechanics, right? Through a progressive understanding of what I term pepper, right? It's your posture and your position, it's your projection, it's your effort, and then it's repeatability. So we start with things like a wall drill, right? Where we just teach the athlete what kind of position do I want to be in when I'm accelerating, right? And then we go into marches against the wall, and then switches against the wall. And then we take that and we teach them how to move forward, right? In more of a upright posture, doing A-skips, we do upright switches, we do doubles, we do triples, and then we get into resisted marches, right? So each one of those aspects of the coaching builds upon the next, so that when we get into unresisted runs, they have an idea of like, oh, this is how I want to push into the ground. Here's the posture and position I want to be in, right? And then as we're looking at the group, we are picking out what athletes have the most glaring things away from the ideal that we've been teaching, right? Knowing that there's still some variance in the bodies and the positions and the levels of understanding, even levels of strength. So when we, I like to think of it in terms of how do counterfeit bill spotters find counterfeit bills? Do they look for every counterfeit bill? No, they have understood and look at the real thing, right? So anything that's outside of what the real thing should look like, that's counterfeit. So the same thing goes with our understanding when we're looking at groups. It's like we can look across a group of 10 athletes running, right, and start to get a picture of like which one looks like it's out of place. If we see all the knees and toes coming up except one, right, or a posture that's out of position, we're like, okay, my eye's gonna go to that one, right? And I think also when we're watching those, as a new coach, your vision is kind of like this, right? It's a small circle, right? I don't want you to focus on 10 athletes at one time. I just focus on one. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Let me look at this next one. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Let me look at this next one, right? And when I get good at looking at that, then I say, okay, well, let me look at 2 athletes that are side by side, right? Which one of those looks more out of place, right? And then I can expand that vision to 3 athletes, 4 athletes, 5 athletes, right? And yeah, in a group setting, we don't have the luxury of being able to spend all the time with just the one person who's not doing it. So you said it perfectly. As long as we're not seeing something that's going to harm them, and a lot of times when we're teaching, we're doing things at such a low speed, right? And progressively getting them faster and faster, that one, we're doing a few things. We're seeing what their body can tolerate. We're seeing how well their neuromuscular system is able to execute some of these movements, right? I mean, the big thing that I generally see a lot of with the athletes like that we worked with today is arms not being coordinated with their feet, right? And their lower body and their upper body are disconnected, right? From their running to even their jumping, right? So we can even break down those jumping drills into things like a stationary jump where we worked on bending the hips, bending the knees, using the arms, right? And then going into a two-step jump and then a three-step jump, right? And each one of those, we're starting with more momentum, right? Or we're increasing the momentum and their takeoff, right? So we start with what we want them to finish with, right? And then kind of move backwards. So, yeah. So I think I think for young coaches, I think the thing is that we really want to help develop your coach's eye, right? And I think one of the reasons that we videotape a lot of the movements is because us being able to slow it down and look at it frame by frame, we start to see things as coaches on the video that maybe we can't see because it's happening so quickly, right? But if we break down and we're even showing an athlete, oh, here's what you're doing, here's what they thought they were doing. So when they see it, they're like, oh, what I felt in my body wasn't correct, right? Now I can change this quicker, right? Versus sometimes as coaches, I think we get frustrated, or we can get frustrated by telling them over and over and over again, oh, they're not getting it, they're not getting it. Well, if an athlete isn't getting it, I think it has to be put back on the coach, right? Because one, if the athlete is listening and they are understanding what you're saying and they aren't doing it, it's either they can't, they don't understand it, like, so maybe what they heard me say is different from what I said, or that's how they interpreted it. And so we want to make sure that the athletes are hearing our message, right? If they hear our message, we've explained it clearly, then a lot of times we have them able to execute those drills a little bit faster. They get better faster, right? Yeah. What else?
I think I've really started to understand like the progression, the supersetting of different movements and how they kind of coordinate with each other, along with like the speed work at the beginning.
Yeah.
You go from a trap bar squat to a box jump, or a back squat to a box jump, just power and strength being combined in a superset. I've started to understand that pretty well.
Yeah. And we're doing those things, we call that contrast training. So as we're doing that, we're doing something that's loaded, right? And then we're doing something that's unloaded. And what happens is we have higher muscle fiber recruitment when we're loaded, right? Sometimes we want to be careful with how much speed we're moving with loads, right? If we're moving with a really fast speed, we might only want an extra 10%, 12% load on our body if we're trying to move really fast, right? But if we're doing something that requires a lot of strength or a lot of power, we can do like cleans, right? We can do trap bar squats and then go into some type of explosive jump that's just our body weight, right? Because now after we've done cleans or we've done like a heavy squat, our muscles are a little bit more primed to recruit more muscle fibers when we're unloaded. It's kind of like going over and picking up a bucket that's empty, right? And then somebody fills that bucket with water and I don't know that they did that, and I go to pick it up and I'm like, oh, I wasn't ready for that, right? And vice versa. If I have a bucket that's full of water and I know it's gonna be super heavy, but somebody's emptied that water out, it's like I go over there and I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be heavy, right? And I just jerk it off the floor, right? That's the mental aspect of me intentionally creating more tension in my muscles to basically lift that, whatever it is, off the floor. Right? So, cool.
Yeah. Thank you.